Sumedho, to the Blessed One, the Lord, who fully attained perfect enlightenment. Sawakato yena bhagavata dhammo, do the teaching which he expounded so well. Supatipano yasa bhagavato sāvaka sangho, and do the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well. Tamayang bhagavantang sadhammang sasanghang, to these the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, imehi sakare yatarahang arabitehi abhipujayama. Surrender with offerings our rightful homage. Sadhu no pande bhagava suchira parini bhutopi. It is well for us that the Blessed One, having attained liberation, Pachima Janatanukam Brahmanasa, still had compassion for later generations. Ime sakare dukhatapana karapurte patikanatu. May these simple offerings be accepted. Amhakangdi karatang itaya sukhaya, for our long-lasting benefit and for the happiness it gives us. Arahant Samma Sambuddho Bhagava, the Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed One, Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivadimi. I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. Sawakato Bhagavata Dhammo, the teaching so completely explained by him. Dhammang namasami, I bow to the Dhamma. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho, the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well. Sanghang namami, I bow to the Sangha. Handamayang Buddhassa Bhagavato Bhuvabhaganamakarang Karoma Se.
Now let us pay preliminary homage to the Buddha.
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Namo
Tassa
Bhagavato
Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Handamayang Buddha Bitu Tingaroma Se.
Now let us chant in praise of the Buddha.
Iyo Sonatakato Arahan Samma Avalokitesvara is the pure one, the perfectly enlightened one, Vichacharana Sampano. He is impeccable in conduct and understanding. Sugato, the accomplished one, Lokavidu, the knower of the worlds, Anuttaro Purisadhammasarati. He trains perfectly those who wish to be trained. Satadeva Manusanang. He is teacher of gods and humans. Buddho Bhagava. He is awake and holy. Yohimang Lokang Satevakang Samarakang Sabrahmakang. In this world with its gods, demons and kind spirits, Sasamana Brahmaning Pachang Sadeva Manusang Sayang Abhinyasa Katova Pavedesi. Its seekers and sages, celestial and human beings, he has by deep insight revealed the truth. Yotamang desesi adi kalayanang majhe kalayana pariyorsana kalayanang. He has pointed out the Dhamma, beautiful in the beginning, beautiful in the middle, beautiful in the end. Sadhang Samyanjanang Kevala Paripurnang Parisuddhang Brahmacharyang Pakasesi. He has explained the spiritual life of complete purity in its essence and conventions. Dhammahang Bhagavantang Abhipujayami Dhammahang Bhagavantang Sirasa Namami. I chant my praise to the Blessed One. I bow my head to the Blessed One. Antamayang Dhamma Bituting Aroma Se.
Now let us chant in praise of the Dhamma.
Your source Vakado Bhagavanta Dhammo. The Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One. Santidikor, apparent here and now, Akalikor, timeless, Ehipasikor, encouraging investigation, Opanayikor, leading onwards, Pajatang Vetidapo Inyuhi, to be experienced individually by the wise. Dhammahang Dhammang Abhipujayami Dhammahang Dhammang Sirasa Namami. I chant my praise to this teaching. I bow my head to this truth. Handamayang Sankha Bituting Aroma Se.
Now let us chant in praise of the Sangha.
Your source Supatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. They are the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well. Ujupatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, who have practiced directly. Nyayapatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, who have practiced insightfully. Samiti Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. Those who practice with integrity, Yati Tang Chantari Purisa Yukani Yata Purisa Pukala. That is the four pairs, the 8 kinds of noble beings. Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. These are the Blessed One's disciples. Ahunayo, such ones are worthy of gifts. Pahunayo, worthy of hospitality. Dakinayo, worthy of offerings. Anjali Karaniyo, worthy of respect. Anurtarang Punyakenang Lokasa. They give occasion for incomparable goodness to arise in the world. Namahang Sanghang Abhipurchayami Dhammahang Sangha Sirasanamami. I chant my praise to this Sangha. I bow my head to this Sangha. listening to the sounds of the morning and the sound of silence in the background. So this opening, receiving, relaxed attention. Hear this sound of the air conditioner. So this just open to sound, to vibration, without seeking to find anything, but just attentive, open receptivity. Pure consciousness. So this is like mindfulness is the kind of the essence, the Buddha emphasized sati in a way that never heard any other founder of religion put mindfulness in as the kind of the essential teaching. So remember, the word Buddha itself means awakened consciousness, mindfulness, wisdom. So by this effortless effort is where we paradoxes and whatnot, oxymorons, because it's not like I'm trying to pay attention, is it? It's just letting go, relaxing into the present, opening, that this attentiveness, this poised attention is recognized. If I'm caught in a particular compulsive feeling of I've got to pay attention, I can recognize this, the kind of grasping idea of I've got to wake up and pay attention, and then grasping that feeling or that notion. It's not what I'm pointing. I'm not trying to intimidate you and command you to pay attention, but to encourage, to point, to try to give you that confidence, to trust yourself, to recognize this natural state. So a created state of attention is where you get caught in the idea, I've got to pay attention. And then this leads to a kind of, this is a compulsive tendency, to grasp an idea and then try to make oneself do it. And you can even grasp the idea of relaxed attention. I've got to relax and pay attention, and that's grasping the idea, grasping the words, and then you trying to make it happen. But this isn't coming from that effort of me, this person trying to get something or do something according to somebody's instructions, but sense of experimentation, investigation. This is the way. This is sense of spaciousness. If I stop trying, I can see the tendency to, the kind of compulsive habits. And it grasps the idea of meditation. I must meditate. And I can make meditation into a compulsive activity. But if I'm aware, then I can see that. I begin to notice that this kind of compulsive drive to practice meditation is like this. It's not a peaceful state of mind. To be caught in that kind of compulsive pressure to, I must do this. I mustn't be lazy. I must work hard. Then it's this kind of must and should, and all that is, to me, creates this tension, because as soon as somebody says you must or you should, then it definitely affects the sense of myself. My self-view takes over, and then I go try to do that, or I rebel against it, or whatever, react to those two extreme reactions. Or to trust in the awareness of how somebody's commands affect me. But in order to really trust this, you need to recognize the compulsive way we even regard meditation, or how your personality and your tendency to grasp ideas, and what that does, how that affects you physically and mentally. Now, recognizing that this is it, this here and now. Paccuppanna is the Pali word for the present, here and now. Paccuppanna Dhamma. The timeless, akalika Dhamma. It's so it's not a matter of tomorrow or yesterday's good meditation was really good Dhamma, but right now this is, my mind's going all over the place, and the memories of yesterday, that was really good practice, but right now it's, I'm not practicing this is not Paccuppanna Dhamma you're recognizing. You're caught in views about what's good Dhamma and yourself, and good practice, and what is bad practice. So this is just to recognize this, that good and bad and that arise through thinking, which it creates division. Yesterday's practice, that was really good. Today's no good, can't concentrate. Now, listening to that, not to, trying to say, to intimidate you in any way, but to just pay attention to what you're thinking, the way you hold even the concepts of meditation, good practice, bad practice, your ability, yourself as a meditator, as good one or not very good one. These are concepts and illusions you're creating. You're creating. I can't practice today. I'm not. My mind's all over. This is. If we believe this, don't look at this in terms of condition. then we do become someone who's having a tough time with our meditation today, and we actually decide that's the way we're going to be at this time, then the suffering is a result. But even in your most miserable states and restless mental states, there's always this reflective ability. It's like this. And this sense of I can't meditate is something you create in the present. So with awareness, you can actually, listen to it. This is something. It is what it is. My mind's wandering and I can't meditate today. I deliberately think it out so that I can see it as an object rather than grasp this view and then let all my experience be affected by my grasping of this particular view of myself. So some days, just like it's sunny or rainy, or some days are cold and some days are hot, and it goes like this. The emotions are like that. You can't just, have on the emotional level different things are affecting us. And of course, we don't know all the things that could be affecting us at this moment. You could imagine anything, and all the psychic realms and the Devadas and the Brahma Lokas and all the kind of Mara forces of Mara that could be operating, particularly aiming at Spirit Rock at this very moment, or. Anything you imagine is possible because the universe is vast and it's interdependent. So it's not just an isolated me, that nothing affects me. But I can't know it in infinite detail and trace everything to an external source. So this is the Buddha's teaching of, be aware from this point here of, say, like look at your citta. Because here it's not a matter of deciding how this is and why I feel this way and why this mood is here and whose fault is it and endlessly, is it because of Jupiter and Saturn, or is it just something, wrong with me because I didn't sleep well last night? Or, you could spend the time trying to figure it all out. But that's a waste of time because you can't really know all that. And it's not necessary to trace it to some external cause, because your relationship to what you're experiencing is from the deathless consciousness rather than from some kind of personal position where you've got to figure out why and how it all comes and happens like this. And so from this position of awareness, then we're reflecting on it is the way it is, and whatever quality, quantity, whatever form, formless, amorphous, clear-cut, precise, fuzzy, any of these kind of adjectives describing, what the kind of experience you're having right now, aware of the aramana, the Puto aware of the Dhamma. So this deathless consciousness, awareness, this aligns itself. These terms are pointing at just this simple reality of attention, relaxed attention, which is not fixed on anything. It's not attached. When you relax and open, and you can hear this, what I call sound of silence. And rather than we can think, I've got to practice with the sound of silence and grasp the idea, and it's desperately, once we get the idea of sound of silence, we grasp the idea again. And we can be compulsive, trying to really, get it and attain the deathless path. So this is where this sense of relaxing and opening is an attitude, rather than finding it and grasping it, because you can't grasp it. You grasp the idea, and that's deluding. So it's noticing that the words themselves can get in the way. Actually, learning to use language and words not as things to grasp, but suggestions or pointers. But this is a skillful use of language. We're not defining and telling you, how you should practice and what you should be doing, but using like the Dhamma teachings to not just grasp those teachings and then try to make yourself experience suffering and so forth through grasping the ideas, but they're Dhamma teachings pointing at here and now, Paccuppanna Dhamma, awakened attention to dukkha. And this awakened attention, then, your relationship to dukkha is one of awareness, not of ownership of that dukkha. So not to own, not to be the owner and the possessor of dukkha, is to trust in this awareness, because then there's nobody to possess dukkha. You're not creating the illusion that I'm suffering and because this or that. There's a recognition of the conditioned realm from this position of the unconditioned, this natural state of being, in which the condition then is in perspective, and you're aware of it in terms of the way it is. And then this anicca is a characteristic. All conditioned phenomena is impermanent. So this to me is like this. There is the uncreated, unborn, unformed, unoriginated. Therefore, there is escape from the created, the formed, the born, the originated. It's in the scriptures. This is like perfect in words. This gives the whole the paradigm really in words, in concepts. The unborn, and then the born. The uncreated, the created. The formed and the unformed, the conditioned and unconditioned. And then there is escape, there is a way of being free from the created, the conditioned, the formed, the originated. Because there is the uncreated, unconditioned, unformed, unoriginated. So what is that unformed, uncreated, unborn, unoriginated now? It's not a thing. It couldn't be some kind of thing you find. Because you can't even imagine it. When you imagine things, you imagine the formed and the created, the born, originated. That's some images, isn't it? Thoughts, images. Creation, uncreated, try to imagine it. Can you form an image? It's kind of like, my mind goes blank, I just can't. I can understand it, a kind of abstract idea, but trying to create a form of this may be a zero, or like in Zen Buddhism, a blank wall. And it leads to, on the level of thinking, it leads to kind of an annihilationism, doesn't it? Like it just, because on the logic, it sounds like annihilationism. Where if you say talk about the unconditioned in the form, like God, the Father, and Jesus, and things like this, then that's a form, isn't it? So, and that is easy to relate to, like a father figure, a kindly, perfect father, or a compassionate Savior. These are forms, beautiful forms, images. But the unformed, uncreated, and so this is, intuitive awareness. You can't. You're not trying to figure it out or create any images or trying to find something called the uncreated, but it's through this simple, imminent act of awakening. You are that. It's like, this is it, just this. Nothing fantastic, nothing, world shaking and overwhelming. It's so ordinary, so present, so in its way obvious, but it's also subtle. Our whole conditioning process is always ignoring it, overlooking it, never recognizing, always looking for something out there, looking far away. So this is where, like, mindfulness is opening and recognizing it's just this. And then the thinking mind is, I don't see anything, I don't feel any different. What's he talking about? Just this. So that's why the emotional reactions and the thinking process, investigate that. Listen, and observe what thinking is. So that you're not caught in the thought process. You're not attached and blinded by your own thoughts and emotional reactions. So this sense of stability, of unshakability, is from awareness. Some people feel, if it's ordinary, ordinary can mean it's boring and mediocre. Because the self, my self-image is, I never wanted to be ordinary or mediocre. I always wanted to be fascinating and special. And a big insult of, way it really put somebody down and say, well, they're just ordinary, nothing special. Don't waste your time with them. But she's absolutely fantastic, Absolutely, most interesting, fabulous personality I've ever met. And then you think, wow. And so mediocre and ordinary is in terms of value judgments, is a kind of, not worth bothering with. So Nibbana is ordinary. Sounds boring to me, Spend your time here, 10-day retreat, and just for something ordinary? Waste of your money, isn't it? So that's the thinking mind. Ordinary is as a value judgment doesn't sound very attractive. But I'm not using it as a value judgment, as some kind of description of Nibbana, describing Nibbana, but it's a way of pointing it. And when we're looking for something special, isn't it? Like we make the concept of Nibbana as something special. Well, when Nibbana is special, what does it do? When it's some rare kind of attainment, some desired goal, something very high, and that that can inspire. The concept can inspire, but the more we kind of adulate it and make it into something so high and special, then we feel, it's too high for us to reach. Because that's how this is a matter of high and low. And if it's neither high nor low, it's ordinary, here and now, timeless, well then what is it then? Because if we've already conceived Nibbana as some kind of heavenly, kind of blissful state, then right now you may not feel you're in heaven at all or blissful at all. And you can even feel ordinary, bored, just ordinary, indifference. And so then the idea of Nibbana becomes so special, such a high attainment. This is thinking, isn't it? This is what thinking does, and the way we rate things on that dualistic spectrum of good, bad, better, best. So the unconditioned is not operating on that level of dualism. It's not, Nibbana is not, if we think of it as the best or the highest, that's misleading. Even though it's oftentimes described described as the highest happiness. But this is where, to see how deluding even our own thoughts and language can be, if that's all that's how we experience our practice is just based on ideas and theories and values and wishes for attainment and so forth, then we're caught. We can spend our whole lifetime meditating and really, we might get high off it sometimes. As you kind of get refined mental states, but they're not sustainable. They are impermanent. So this awakening then is the ordinary consciousness in which we realize, we recognize it. It's not we don't have it, we don't know it, we don't see it, we don't value it. So this is where this awakening, sense of awakened attention here and now, apparent here and now, timeless, encouraging investigation, leading inwards, to be experienced individually by the wise. So the uncreated, unformed is not, the words themselves suggest just this attentiveness, because when you try to look for it, you're creating you're looking for something, some idea that you have about it, rather than trusting intuitive awareness and the ability to open and receive life from this center point, from the still point of the turning world. So this kind of awakened knowing, to the world seems worthless. Worldly values are about extremities, success and happiness, and, becoming somebody, being special, not being ordinary. So it seems worthless in the worldly terms. So this is like our language, our thinking process is for the world. It's created out of the worldly experiences. But then, even though it seems worthless, when you recognize it, it's priceless. Priceless. There's no way you could, it's you couldn't buy it. It's beyond, even, no matter how wealthy, all the money in the world couldn't buy this. It's beyond price. And yet, in terms of worldly thinking, it's worthless. This is a reflection. I like to think of these two words, worthless and priceless. Not worth anything, but beyond price.
can finish with the suffusion with divine abidings in Pali on page 30. Annamayang chaturapam anya obhasanang karomase metta sahagatena cetasa ekam disang bharitava viharati tata tatiyang tata tatiyang tata chaturtang itiyo dhammado tiriyang sabati sabha tataya sabhavantha lokang metta sahagatena cetasa vipulena mahagatena hapamanena haverena maya bhajena paritava viharati karuna sahagatena cetasa ekang disang paritava viharati tata dutiyang tata tatiyang tata jatutang itiyo tammado tiriyang sabati sabha tataya sabhavantang lokang karuna sahagatena cetasa vipulena mahagatena hapamanena verena havayabhadena paritava viharati mudita sahagatena cetasa eka disang bharitava viharati tata dutiyang tata tatiyang tata chaturtang itiyo dhammado diriyang sabati sabha tataya sabhavantang lokang mudita sahagatena cetasa vipulena mahagatena hapamanena haverena havaya bhajena paritava viharati upeka sahagatena cetasa ekang disang paritava viharati tata dutiyang tata tatiyang tata chaturtang itiyo dhammado tiriyang sabati sabha tataya sabhavantang lokang upeka sahagatena cetasa vipulena mahagatena hapamanena haverena havaya bhajena paritava viharati.
Arahant Samma Sambuddho Bhagava
Buddha, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one, Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. I render homage to the Buddha, the blessed one.
Savakadu Bhagavata Dhammo, the teaching so completely explained by him. Dhammang Namasami,
I bow to the Dhamma.
Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, Sangham Namami. I bow to the Sangha.